Hello, welcome back to P-Storm. I am Pluvius Lilon, and today we're playing Danganronpa 2. Now, it's been about a week since the last episode. This is the first time I haven't recorded a whole trial in one sitting. Because I got sick halfway through the trial. Like, okay, it was getting pretty late. I hadn't had a chance to record for most of the day, and by the time I did start, by the time I finished the previous episode, it was pretty late, and I was just like, whatever, I'll just finish it tomorrow. And then, 2 hours later, my throat got all scratchy, and I'm like, fuck. So yeah, I might not remember every little detail, but, yeah, let's just get started. I think, I remember the gist of it. Basically, like Nagito's death. They were ready to rule Nagito's death a suicide, but Chiaki was like, "No, that's probably not it, Chief." So now we're gonna investigate further. Well, not investigate, but we're gonna look into more possibilities. But yeah, let's get started.
I'm Manomi, but now there's nothing more for me to say. Anyway, my chest is full of pride right now. Everyone is united against despair. It's totally awesome. That's why I'm gonna fight too. I'll fight the only way I can. I'm gonna show that guy my fearsome retaliation. That's basically it.
So, if we're working together, where do we start? With the cause of death missing from the Monokuma file? Why don't we try removing all our preconceived notions before we discuss this? In the beginning, our discussion was advanced by assuming Nagito's death was caused by the spear. It's better to confirm if there are any other possibilities. That's what I think. Other possibilities, huh? If something other than the spear killed Nagito, all I can think of is the knife that stabbed into his hand, but that was definitely a gruesome wound, but it wouldn't be the fatal wound, don't you think? If you think the cuts on his legs and left arm aren't the fatal wounds... Are we finished already? I feel like it's possible that we overlooked something. Overlooked, huh? And let's bring up whatever we can, one after the other. That might clear some things up. Exactly. We should cooperate at a time like this. A fatal wound that wasn't the spear. We don't even know if it actually exists, but if it does, we need to find out what it is, no matter what. Let's see, is the poison in there? Piece of blue paper. Yeah, Monokuma's special poison. Okay, just gotta remember the controls again. Bada boom! That's it. I totally forgot about that possibility. If the cause of death was something we can't see, then we have to consider poison as a possible method. Poison? It is true that poison is not something we can see, but why did you bring that up all of a sudden? I remember. When I went to investigate Nagito's cottage, I discovered something really strange. Inside the refrigerator, I found a bottle of Monokuma's special poison. Poison? Additionally, that's a poison made specifically for killing. I see. Now that you mention it, there's no way a toxin like that doesn't relate to the case at all. If a poison was the cause of death, then it would not leave an obvious wound on Nagito's body. However, it's common for blood blotches to appear on a body that's been poisoned. I see. You sure seem to know a lot about medicine. What does that mean? But even if blood blotches appear, the body was already covered in blood. There's no way we'd notice them easily, right?
Did he wound his body just to camouflage them?
That's also a possibility. But still, both of Nagito's hands were full, so how would he drink poison? His left hand was tied up and gripping the spear, and his right hand had a knife stuck in it. If it was a slow-acting poison, it is possible he consumed it in advance. No, the warning label on the body explicitly states the effect is instant. Then it's impossible. Both of his hands were full just before he died. And this is when the hard tail appears. You're totally overvaluing that tail.
His mouth was covered with duct tape, you know? If he wanted to drink poison, how'd he get it past his lips?
There's no way he could have drank the poison. It might be... or if there's no way he could have drank the poison, that might be impossible. Just kidding. It's not like we're out of possibilities yet.
Are there any left? Hell no. No matter how you slice it, he was totally killed by that spear.
Since we've already ruled out so many possibilities, it might be easier to just think about what really killed him. Operation Elimination Method. The hint should be written on the poison's warning label, maybe. The way the poison entered Nagito's body, the answer is written on the warning label? I should think carefully and try to remember it. Yeah, maybe he, like, breathed it. Yeah. He wouldn't have had to drink the poison for it to kill him. He could have just breathed it. Could have just breathed the vapors. And then it happened, and he was like, "Oh, I've got a sudden case of the vapors." Ah! Oh, that was a close one. Woo! Okay, what state was the poison in when it affected Nagito? That was a gas, motherfucker.
Solid. What, did they freeze the poison?
Whoosh! Whoosh! Whoosh 'em!
Ah!
I'm gonna shit on your head like my name was Herman Lee. Oh my god. Okay, just take it slow. Alright, question 2. How'd the poison enter Nagito's body? Through his nose. Or maybe it was through his wounds. Oh, no, it was through his nose. Whoosh. Whoosh. Oh, wow, there were only 2 questions? Well, makes things easier for us. What if instead of drinking the poison, we assume he inhaled it? Inhaled? It's written on the poison's warning label.
This enchanted liquid is highly potent and takes effect immediately. Please handle with care. Though its volatility is low, this liquid is very dangerous when vaporized.
Dangerous when vaporized. In other words, breathing in the gas is fatal.
Poison gas? Then all he had to do was breathe it in through his nose.
He breathed that poisonous gas inside the warehouse? But if poisonous gas had spread through the warehouse, why didn't it kill us?
The reason we didn't breathe in the poisonous gas, I should be able to explain that mystery too.
The sprinklers?
The sprinklers in the warehouse. Thanks to those, we didn't inhale that poison gas.
poison gas that disappeared because of the sprinklers? It wasn't the fire?
Well, that was also written on the poison's warning label. Or this was also written on the poison's warning label.
In a gaseous state, it's heavier than air. It breaks down in minutes and is susceptible to hydrolysis. So it's possible for you to poison someone to death without any complications. Of course, hydrolysis. The chemical bonds that formed the poison were broken down by the water from the sprinklers.
Also, the poison is apparently denser than air, so it probably didn't affect us because we were standing.
But Nagito was laying down, so he must have breathed in a whole bunch of it, huh?
If it meets the requirements that well, maybe it's not just a possibility anymore.
Yeah, the true cause of Nagito's death was poisoning. The wounds on his body, the spear in his stomach, it was all to keep us from learning the truth.
So what?
Huh?
We figured out that Nagito died from poison, but so what? In the end, it doesn't change the fact that he committed suicide, right? But enough already.
Nagito inhaled the poison he prepared and died. Yeah, that still sounds like it's suicide. Well, with this, we have a clearer picture. We've also determined the true cause of death. Alright. All the mysteries should be solved now. We should get on with the voting time, right? Well, but...
What, there's still more?
I mean, not all the mysteries have been solved yet. In the end, Nagito's motive is still unclear. Did he commit suicide just so he could kill every last one of us? Is that really his motive?
And it just cuts to Nagito with, like, Dimitri Fire Emblem's eye patch, just like, kill every last one of them!
Is that really okay? Hey, what happened? There's no reason to wonder about that stuff anymore, you know? Nagito's motive. Nagito's malice. Is this really okay? Can we really finish this here? No, that can't be.
There might have been an accomplice.
Huh? Chiaki, what did you just say?
If Nagito committed suicide by inhaling poison that he brought, then why wasn't there anything that looked like poison at the crime scene?
Anything that looked like poison?
If Nagito brought poison to the warehouse, it's strange that we couldn't find it there.
If Nagito really brought poison to the warehouse, then the thing that would have been left behind is... the bottle. Are you talking about the container the poison was kept in?
Yeah. If Nagito brought it, it's strange we couldn't find that container anywhere, right?
He can't carry around poison without putting it in a container? Yeah. That was written on the warning label. Keep this liquid secure by storing it in a cool place in a glass or plastic container, away from sunlight. The container probably melted in the fire.
It's probably plastic or glass, right? There's no way to completely incinerate. Even if the plastic fragments of the fire grenades we used to put out the fire didn't completely burn up, you know? You know what? I think the contents of the fire grenade were switched out for the poison.
Then, does that mean someone got rid of the container?
Yeah, that'd explain why the fire grenades didn't put out the fire. Because they didn't have fire grenade juice in them.
So that's why you mentioned an accomplice. That is impossible. I mean, an accomplice, it is just too...
Like, does that really matter all that much? I mean, even if he had an accomplice, it doesn't change the fact that Nagito still committed suicide.
You're right. Someone might have accidentally took it away from the crime scene. Yeah, you're right. You're totally right. That's totally it.
Right? Isn't it okay to close this case yet? I'm not in the mood for unexpected twists.
I don't want to hurt anyone. I don't want to get hurt anymore by hurting someone else. So, everyone's tired. Tired of doubting everyone else. I also feel that way. That's why I want to just rule this as Nagito's suicide. If I do that, nobody here has to get hurt. But that's no good. I feel like Nagito is seeing through us. By calling this Nagito's suicide, we're trying to take the easy way out so we don't hurt anyone else. But if Nagito was here right now, he'd probably be sneering at us. He'd probably say something like, "So that's the extent of your hopes." So Nagito's ghost is whispering to you, huh? The power of friendship bursts beyond death, eh? A fiery outcome like this is right out of a teen manga. Still, that's pretty messed up.
Shut up! You just be quiet!
I get what you're saying, but in the end, the reason he died is still the same as before, right? Even if we solve this mystery, the conclusion won't change at all.
I mean, it'd be a suicide regardless, right?
Even if there really was an accomplice, is there any reason we should take the time to figure it out who it is? Like Fuyuhiko said earlier, it is possible that somebody accidentally removed the poison from the crime scene. But I just can't imagine ending this by turning our backs on the truth. It's fine, okay? There's some things we're better off not knowing. And we probably just didn't notice it. Like, maybe the container was hiding with the fire grenade fragments. What is this feeling just now? Even though it was brief, it's like a strong flash of light running through the back of my head. Maybe what Akane said right now might be a new clue. From here, I might be able to reach an answer. The way Nagito brought the poison, which means the thing he used as container was...
And it was the fire grenades. Yep.
Give me an F. Okay, E. I see. I got it. Huh? The fire grenades. Nagito put the poison inside one of the fire grenades and transported it to the warehouse. What? He used one of the fire grenade canisters? Yeah, the container with the poison in it wasn't secretly taken away from someone, or by someone. Instead, it was in a container that didn't need to be taken away in the first place. As long as he put the poison in the same container he brought to the warehouse, it can be hidden with the other fire grenades we used, so there's no need to dispose of the container later. That bastard. He totally knew we were gonna throw those fire grenades. Which means, did Nagito exchange the contents of a fire grenade? Yeah, that has to be it. When I first discovered those fire grenades, I tried to study them a little bit, but... the canister was completely sealed shut by a layer of aluminum underneath the lid. You just have to peel that off and... you just have to peel off that seal and swap the insides, right? That is true, but there was no sign he was even at the break room. Hold on, did you say aluminum?
Hajime, could it be?
If so, there's no mistake. Nagito definitely swapped the contents of one of the fire grenades.
Seriously? That's impossible. Miss Sonia just said so right now. Sonia's words are proof that the poison was swapped with the contents of a fire grenade.
Huh? Sonia's words contain a clue that the contents of a fire grenade were swapped with the poison. take a look. We found this under Nagito's bed when we were investigating his cottage. Huh? It's just a piece of trash. No, that is not just a piece of trash. The seal I saw on that fire grenade matched this. It is the same aluminum. You found the aluminum seal under Nagito's bed? There's more. That's not the only thing we found in Nagito's room. We also found a gas mask and gloves under his bed, too. Did he use those when he put the poison inside the fire grenade? It's a dangerous poison, after all. He took extreme caution when swapping them.
So what's the issue? Nagito put the poison in the grenade canister, brought it with him, breathed it in, and died, right? So in the end, he still fucking committed suicide. Enough already.
You're right. If the canister wasn't thrown away, then it just means that there wasn't an accomplice after all. See, I told you. The conclusion is still the same. Nagito committed suicide. End of story.
I admit there wasn't any accomplice. That was just my misunderstanding.
You are right.
In actuality, the truth is even more horrifying.
What did you say? Hey, what are you planning to say now?
What in the hell? Do you still want to keep going?
Is this not settled? There's no denying that Nagito's death was a suicide.
No, it's not.
Chiaki?
I'm sorry, but I just realized it.
Realized what?
We know Nagito used the grenade canister to store the poison. So when was it deployed in the warehouse? When did Nagito breathe in the poison? When I thought along those lines, that's when I realized it. The horrifying truth? Yeah. He didn't just die. He made someone else kill him without realizing it. It probably happened at the same time. The moment the fire grenades were brought and the moment Nagito breathed in the poison were the same? Could that moment be... Are you saying it was when we all threw the fire grenades? Yeah, I think so. When we all threw the grenades to put out the fire in the warehouse, the poison was deployed, and it converted to poison gas and killed Nagito.
If that is true, then the person who brought the poison and spread it was... one of us.
What in the hell?
One of us threw the poison grenade that killed Nagito? Hold on a sec. The Nagito was...
It would mean he didn't kill himself. What in the hell? But you said so yourself. You said Nagito committed suicide.
Then who killed Nagito?
You mean, who's the actual killer, right?
Do you know?
Who prepared the poison fire grenade that killed Nagito?
Huh?
The person who prepared the poison fire grenade was... It was Nagito, obviously. We just discussed this a few minutes ago. Then who set the warehouse fire that caused one of us to throw the poison grenade? The person who set the warehouse fire was... That was also Nagito. Hey, how many times are you gonna ask the same damn question? The next question will be my last. Considering all the facts up till now, why did Nagito set the warehouse on fire? The reason Nagito set the warehouse on fire...
Don't tell me. He set the warehouse on fire just so we'd have to throw the fire grenades? He set the fire just so we'd put it out? Why did he do that? It was a trap. A trap? Preparing the poison, creating a reason for us to throw the poison, it was all a setup by Nagito. It was all a trap to make one of us throw the poison grenade. Seriously, I'm asking you who threw it? I don't know. The person who threw it probably didn't know either. Huh? Could it be... was that Nagito's trap? This wasn't an intentional murder. This was a murder that Nagito forced someone to do. And for that reason... he put the fire grenade that he filled with poison with the other grenades. Setting up a murder nobody can solve. That was Nagito's true goal. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa! Nagito did not commit murder. Instead, he manipulated someone else into killing him? To do that, he set a trap to force someone to kill him. The poison grenade and the fire were traps. That's why the curtain was the fire's origin point. All the fire grenades we threw at the curtain shattered once they fell to the floor. Because of that, Nagito, who was laying face up on the floor, was able to breathe in that dense poison. And then... hold on. If that's true, you can't say the poison was the cause of death. It might be the poison's fault that he let go of the spear, but... the actual cause of death could be either one. Even so, the poison is what caused him to let go of the spear. Oh man, so he fucking Miles Dyson'd it, just like... That's right. Nagito's killer is the one who made him breathe the poison. Are you fucking serious? That was his trap all along. Even the wounds all over his body, it was all to mess with the evidence of what actually happened. His true goal was creating a murder that nobody can solve. He wanted to prove to us that there are mysteries that just can't be solved with educated guesses. He probably expected that his fake suicide would be found out. After all, a mystery that can be solved is destined to be solved in the end. However, he also prepared a mystery that couldn't be solved. As you solve mysteries and bolster your hope, a huge mystery comes along and slaps you in your faces. For those of you who believe there are no unsolvable mysteries, that's when you finally taste despair. Meaning he used all the prior class trial verdicts to prepare this trick. Not all mysteries can be solved. Such a devious trick he played on you. As expected of Nagito.
That's totally messed up. That's so fucked up.
It is my fault. Because I told you all about the fire grenades. I am so sorry. Please vote me as the killer. That's not the fucking issue here.
It's not Miss Sonia's fault. This is all Nagito's doing.
But what should we do? How can we even figure out who the killer is? It's impossible. Impossible? Nagito wanted to create a scenario where we couldn't make a decision. That's why we're at an impasse. However, Monokuma also does not know who the killer is, right?
That's right. There's no way he'd be able to figure that out with just his surveillance cameras. If Monokuma doesn't know, this trial doesn't count, isn't that right?
You know, I don't actually need stuff like cheap-ass surveillance cameras or whatever. I know perfectly well what's happening on this island at all times. I know you used the bathroom 3 times yesterday, Sonia, and one of those visits seemed to take a while. Please stop! I will never become queen!
How can you... I'm so I mean... How can you have such an awful power?
So, of course this trial still counts. Do your very best to guess who the killer is. Guess, he says. How the hell are we supposed to do that? Is giving up all we can do?
No, it's too early to give up.
Is there any way to figure out who the killer is?
Even though it's just a hunch, it's possible that it's probably... There's one way, I think.
Really?
Hey, is it alright if we look at Nagito's crime one more time from the beginning? I want to make sure my hunch is correct. Hajime, please.
That's right. It doesn't mean the trial's over yet. Even though I don't know who killed Nagito, it should be clear what kind of trap he set. Then I have to do it. Even if it leads to despair. I got it. Let's do this then.
Oh, really?
Danganronpa.